Hi, welcome to our presentation on laddering by John Sarine, Lucas Freitas, and Ryan Hafen. We're going to go through our presentation on the laddering. The introduction will be by Ryan, laddering explained by John, upside and downside by Lucas, recommendation by Ryan. John will go over the data and Lucas will finish us up. Laddering is a partly planned method of elicitation. Interviewers are asked a series of why questions, all having to do with the participant's previous answer. By doing this, interviewers can gather a hierarchy of questions and answers that display a map of users' preferences, all because of the way these questions are asked. The questions are structured in a way that the answers to the previous questions will inform the content of the current question. The questions cannot be fully prepared because it is impossible to know how the interviewer will respond. The respondent map and questions and answers is a hierarchy of the user's preferred features of the product and their place in the hierarchy of features. To better understand this technique, Michael Hawley used this analogy to envision a ladder interview. Think of the traditional image of a psychologist interviewing a patient, attempting to uncover the root cause of some behavior or problem. The patient may not be able to make connection between the underlying issues and their manifestations, but their skilled interviewing the psychologist can dig deeper and deeper to unearth insight on the relevance. A ladder interview is used. Experience research is similar.
A loose description of how this would look in a requirements elicitation interview would be to ask a user what their favorite feature of a product is, then ask why that feature is beneficial, and then ask what that benefit does for them personally. The same line of questions would be asked for the second most favorite feature of a product, and so forth. The result of all the questions is a tree denoting the most important features of a product and the least important arranged in that order. These results not only inform requirements, but also can play a role in marketing. Some example questions are, why is this important to you? What does it mean to you? What is the meaning of this product having this attribute? In reference to a specific product, a CD player, for example, it would look like what we have on this slide. You can see how the questions 2, 3, and 4 are all follow-up questions to the first question, what feature do you like best? Keep in mind that the purpose is to map out the customer's thoughts about a product or application without biasing their answers with the very structure of your interview. Eric Holtzclaw says, our best interviews are those in which the participant says at the end, I have no idea what you were asking me about, but I hope I was helpful.
Okay, so we came up with an idea of explaining it, how it works in a practical way. So in this slide, we can see 3 diagrams, and laddering is it allows us to redraw an activity network to subtasks and make the overall network sequence more efficient. So in the first diagram, we can see that an activity is divided into 2 subtasks, which are called activity 1 and activity 2. And both of these activities are going to take 1 week each. So the total amount for the completion of the activity A is 2 weeks. And the same thing goes for the activity B, which is demonstrated in the second diagram. So if we sum the 2 subtasks, B1 and B2, they're going to take 4 weeks in total for the completion. So if we use laddering, we can see the third diagram, which is a more efficient way to use it. So that implies that for activity B1 to be completed, I have to have activity A1, and activity B2 cannot be started before activities B1 and A1. So overall, that's something that's going to speed up the process of a project. So that way we can come up with pros and cons of laddering. So if we go to the next slide, we can see the upside and downside of them. So the upside of laddering is that provides a good understanding of the prioritized needs of the stakeholders, and overall it just makes the project more efficient. And summarizing the downsides is that each activity is dependent uh, on other activities that are supposed to happen before and after. And if someone fails to do any of those activities, it can cause to the project. It can cause delays to the project. Maintaining it is difficult, and like it says there, it can be long and a tiring technique, and sometimes it's too, and it can be tedious for the participants.
So the recommendation for this project is to use laddering when you have a small project with medium to high complexity. It's most effective when used to analyze a specific population with a small representative sample. When not to use laddering is when you're building a brand new system, when you have a large amount of requirements, when experts are not available, and you have a very short timeline.
Here's our participant data. You can see we have a hierarchical order of how their features played out, the features that they would expect to see in a pantry manager application. And we asked follow-up questions for each one. And we ended up doing 3 participant interviews.
Okay, so that is it for our presentation, and hope you enjoyed it, and we thank you for watching it.
Thank you.